Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 27 of What If Naruto Learned the Clone Secret in the Beginning. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Given a Second Chance over on Anime King. And also stay in tune for What If Naruto Was a Godly Mage, which I'm going to be posting later on. And I'm also going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was an OP Seal Master. So stay tuned for that, and I do hope that you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Naruto and Jiraiya was attacked by Nidori, Fubuki, and Muzuri. As Jiraiya went off to take on the leader Nidori, as Naruto take on the other two, they stood absolutely no chance as Naruto quickly killed the both of them. They were no match for him. Jiraiya was completely beaten down on Nidori as he realized that. He decided to use a jutsu as he created a giant whale that destroyed the glacier, forcing all of them to flee as he head back to the ship. We then skip towards as Sandia was telling Naruto everything that was happening. Him and Jiraiya, as Naruto just lost it, he didn't know why, he was so furious. What if Yuki didn't want to go back and be any leader of this country? As this man was forcing her, as Naruto became furious at that. Yuki was surprised as she was watching the entire thing. Naruto was then sitting out on deck as she came. As she really asked him if he wouldn't take her back, and he told her no, he would, because it was his mission. But he wouldn't force her to become any daimyo. And if she wanted his help, he would help her kick Dodo's ass so she can retake her throne if she wanted. As he then pulled out some sake as the both of them then drank. Naruto woke up the next morning to hear Jiraiya giggling as Naruto was in bed with Yuki. As he remembered what happened last night, the both of them got extremely drunk. As the Kyuubi was also feeling like a date because it was passed on to her, given a seal, and their connection now was deepened. After that was over, they went off again on a four-wheel cart. As a train then came out while they were beginning to shoot their movie. It was Dodo, but this time he had Nidori and someone else, or two other. It was Hidan and Kakazu. As Kakazu faced off against Jiraiya, as Naruto faced off against Hidan, Naruto kept on attacking Hidan with everything that he got, but the man simply still getting back up. As Naruto ended up getting right in his face and created a Rasengan and smashed it with so much force, Hidan was blown up. As one of his eyes were tear to cinders, his face was having a large scar on it. But he was taken away by Kakazu, who uses threads to pick up Hidan's blowing limbs. As he sewed Hidan back together. Dodo had captured Koyuki, but she had a fake necklace as she could only think of one person. While she was in herself thinking, as Naruto and Jiraiya and the others created a plan, as all the samurais and Naruto went inside while Jiraiya called the two toads from Mount Miyamoku, as all of the guards went out to face Jiraiya. As behind him they thought that he had a crew, but it was just him alone as the crew was clones transformed. Jiraiya went down there in a sage mode as Nidori came out. As he heard the man them screaming monster, as Jiraiya was literally slaughtering all of them, none of them could even lay a scratch on him. Nidori think that he absolutely stood a chance because he had all of his eyes at his disposal. As Jiraiya simply chuckled as he dashed forward to finish Nidori. Meanwhile, Naruto and the others were going through the base when they were suddenly stopped, as Naruto had to tell all of them to fall back. As he looked at Sandia, Koyuki was cursing at him and told him to let her go because Naruto could not fight those two alone, yes, as Hidan and Kakazu arrived, as he had to take on the both of them by himself. So yeah guys, so basically that's what they thought. You guys can switch across the PlayStation check out for yourself. So what is there being this new episode? Kakazu and Hidan were still cursing as Naruto pulled out the giant scroll. The both of them turned, but Naruto already unsealed what was inside, wiping his blood on it, as water and lightning burst from it, rushing down the hallway, engulfing Kakazu and Hidan. Naruto had to let back though, because before the water could even disperse, Kakazu burst from it and tried to punch him right in the face. As Kakazu hit the ground instead, a massive hole was blasted all the way through it. God damn it, Hidan screamed. Do you know how much that hurt, you little bastard? As the water cleared away as the content in the scroll ran out, Hidan was still standing, but lightning was sparkling along his body. His sight was deep into the stone floor. He likely did it before the water had hit him, otherwise he would have been swept away in the current. Kakazu also pulled his arm out of the ground, as his skin returned back to normal and had turned dark grey, signifying the use of some technique, as it flickered off, as his cloak was also torn up, showing 4 marks on his back. But Kakazu grunted. To think that you could destroy one of my hearts so easily, he said, as the man sounded like he was irritated. And now, I'll have to find a new one. Serves you right, Hidan said, that is what you get for acting like a jerk. Shut up, Hidan, said Kakazu. Naruto wasted no time as he thrust out his fist, firing off 2, wind burst towards them. Kakazu held out his hand as lightning crackled on it, as he drove it down and cut the wind attack into pieces like it was never there, as Hidan slashed through his with his sight. Is that the best you got, he asked. Kakazu then went through hand sign, lightning release, GN, as he opened his mouth and fired off a lightning spear. Naruto brought both of his hands together as the attack was coming fast. It was lightning after all, as he created a gust of wind right in front of him as a shield, as Naruto felt the pain jolt through his fingers, as the lightning dispersed with a blast of wind. I got you now, said Hidan as he appeared right in front of Naruto, as Naruto rolled across the ground as Hidan's sight sliced through the wall like it was butter. As Naruto got to his feet, Hidan attacked him once again, as Naruto jumped back, forcing Hidan to follow him. Perhaps if he could separate these two, he could quickly deal with Hidan, and then turn towards that one. Wind style, fire style. Naruto's eyes went wide as a massive firestorm came towards the two of them as they were engulfing the attack. Meanwhile, Jiraiya was rushing towards the castle, as he already finished incinerating Natori with a fire style. Looks like the battle is over, said Fukazaku. But there's another one going on, said Jiraiya. This battle, is it the reason why you called us? Yes, said Jiraiya. The two that we're going up against are Akatsuki, S-class ninjas after the Kyuubi. Then they're going after Naruto-chan, said Ma. Neither she or Pa had met Naruto yet, but Jiraiya had told them plenty about the boy. That's right, that is why I called you here, said Jiraiya. Alright then, let's hurry up and find him, said Pa. As if answering his words, the earth suddenly shook, as Jiraiya felt a massive tremor went off, as he rushed top speed towards the building. Hold on, Naruto, I'm coming, he said. Meanwhile, Naruto was very lucky that Hidan was in front of him. Immortals really do make excellent shields, after all. Disarming Hidan had been easy enough, but the man was stubborn when it came to his sight. He even managed to cut Naruto before being disarmed. But once his weapon was gone, Naruto put Hidan in front of him, using him as a makeshift shield, as he summoned a wall of water from one of his scrolls. Steam rose everywhere. The water wall had barely been able to protect him, as Naruto still received burns on his arms. Thankfully, they were healing rather quickly. I'm impressed that you managed to block my attack, said Kakazu, his voice ringing out all around him, as steam filled the entire area. Blocking the attack like that, in such a close space like this, is not an easy feat. Those seals of yours are really problematic. Oh well, that combination attack of yours was really problematic for me, so I guess this makes us even, said Naruto. I suppose it does, said Kakazu. Oi, stop talking, you idiots! Kakazu, what the hell was that about? You nearly goddamn incinerated me, Hidan shouted, somewhere from in the steam. As Naruto had shoved Hidan in front of him when the attack had hit, using him as a first line defense. He was hoping that Kakazu's attack would have destroyed him, but that was wishful thinking. Oh, you're still alive. What the hell is that supposed to mean, Kakazu, said Hidan, as the smoke cleared his skin had numerous third-degree burns. Several cracks along his body like the flame had broken his skin in places all over. And he was currently standing a pentagram on the ground. As he looked at the pentagram, was made from someone's blood, but the blood was blackened and burned. As Hidan also got a hold of his side again, fresh blood dripping from one of the blades. As Naruto felt a stinging sensation on his cheek, but it healed rather quickly. It must have come from him. How did he move so fast, and why didn't I notice his injury until now? You're screwed now, said Hidan, as he licked the blood off his sight. Naruto watched as the man started to change. His skin darkened, looking like a skeleton form. What is this, said Naruto. Now you're screwed, bitch. "You're so screwed," Hidan shouted. Naruto knew better than to remain still. Whatever happened to that guy, it must be dangerous. So he rushed forward. If he could reach Hidan and take him out before he could do anything, then he should be safe. As Naruto was getting in close, Hidan stabbed himself right in his thigh. But the one to fall was Naruto as he screamed in pain. As he placed a hand against his leg, to his surprise, blood was on his palm. What the? Hidan broke out laughing. "Are you shocked? Angry? Why don't we kick this up a notch?" said Hidan. Naruto got back to his feet, his cut already been healed as he rushed at Hidan with top speed. But Hidan drove the staff right in his shoulder as Naruto yelled out in pain and lost his balance for a second there, as blood started to ooze out of his shoulder to his shock. "What's this?" Hidan said. "Are you having some trouble? Here, let me help you." Naruto winced out in pain as he looked at his chest as there was a long mark being slashed across it. "What's going on?" "That man is a Jashinist," said the Kyuubi. "What's that?" said Naruto. "He worshipped a false god known as Jashin. His immortality was granted to him for his technique. Basically, while ingesting the blood of someone else while standing in that circle, he can inflict the same damage onto himself, onto the person that the blood that he had ingested." "I see," said Naruto. "So that's a troublesome ability." "It is, but if you can get him out of that circle, negate it or destroy it, you should be safe." "Right, got it. Thanks, Kyuubi," said Naruto. "Anytime," she said. As Naruto rolled his neck, as his wounds had already healed already, he stood to his feet and glared at Hidan. "That's a good look, shit stain. Bitches like you need to know their place," said Hidan. As Naruto pulled back his fist before firing off two bursts of air towards Hidan, Hidan smirked. "Do your work," he said as he extended his arms. But Hidan's eyes went wide as he realized the kid had shot down, as Naruto's attack hit the ground, breaking it apart. As Hidan watched his circle crumbling to pieces as he had to jump away from the hole. Before Hidan could blink, Naruto was in front of him, shooting off the powerful bursts. As Naruto grabbed his head and brought it down and smashed his knee right into Hidan's nose with so much force, Hidan's nose exploded. "My nose! You broke my nose, you little shit!" "I'm gonna break more than that," Naruto said, wing style. Naruto cursed as he looked behind to see one of Kakuzu's masks standing several feet away with a tornado compressed wind in his mouth. It was then released as it tore apart the ground with ease. Even the walls and ceilings were being destroyed. Was this man crazy trying to bury them all under rubble? Naruto unfurled a scroll, a storage seal. As he channeled chakra into it, it started to glow blue as he threw it over his head. All of the debris that was falling towards him was sealed away into that scroll. Before he caught it, as he threw it towards the tornado, as he enhanced it with wind chakra, firing out all the debris, trying to negate Akatsuki's attack. The two wind attacks collided in the middle as the rubble between them was crushed. As the attacks negate each other, leaving Naruto uninjured. "You really are a difficult opponent," said Kakuzu. "I really met someone that was able to survive against the both of us for so long." "Staying ahead of posers like you guys are easy," said Naruto. "Easy, huh? Don't make me laugh. The moment this fight had begun, you've been on the run," said Hidan as he stepped up to Kakuzu's side. He was bleeding heavily and his body was still burned, unlike Naruto was already healed up. "Face it, shitty Kyuubi brat, you're already done for. It's only a matter of time now before I cut you like a fillet." While Hidan looked like he was dying, Kakuzu was perfectly fine. But in truth, Naruto had a lot more in him. He didn't even use his transformed state yet, and seeing that Hidan didn't be bothered by the damage done to him, he was also fine as well when you look at it in a different point of view. "You've put up a good fight, but it ends now," said Kakuzu. At 3 masses came from his back. "Time to say your prayers, shitty Kyuubi brat." As Hidan rushed forward with tremendous speed. As Naruto held out his hand, he had to do something quick. Summoning jutsu. The world around them became pink. The walls, the floor, the ceiling. Everything was sticky and dripping with mucus. As Naruto recognized the technique, it was one of Jiraiya's jutsu. As Hidan, who had been rushing at Naruto, found his foot stuck. As Naruto saw the perfect opportunity as he leaped forward. As he added wind chakra into his Rasengan. Hidan brought his sight up, but Naruto flipped over it and slammed the Rasengan on Hidan's sight. The Rasengan destroyed all 3 blades. "My sight!" Hidan shouted. Still in mid-air, Naruto spun around and created another wing-style Rasengan as he smashed it into Hidan's face. The result was not pretty at all. Hidan's head exploded like it was stuck inside of a grinder. Blood, bits of brain matter, spread across the toad esophagus, flashing on the walls and clattering to the floor. Hidan's body remained standing. It was still moving like it was trying to find his head. This man was truly immortal. As Naruto slammed another wind-style Rasengan right into his chest, tearing his body to pieces, as blood flashed over Naruto. As he landed, "If you get her from that, you bastard, then you're something else." I don't believe that he would. Not even someone who has been enhanced and gifted that kind of immortality, with his body completely destroyed, he will not be getting back up. "Good to know," said Naruto to Kyuubi. "Naruto." As Naruto realized, yeah, Jiraiya must be with him, he was the one that did this after all. Ero Sennin said, "Naruto, don't call me that brat, it's Jiraiya Sensei, or Sensei." "Whatever," Naruto said. "What are you... Wait, what the hell happened to your face?" Jiraiya's face has become quite hideous. His nose has grown quite large and bogus, with small warts all over it, and his eyes reminding Naruto of a toad. Know that he was looking, his entire body took on a toad-like appearance. Wait, are those small toads on his shoulder? "Hello, Naruto boy," said Pa. "My name is Fukazaku. I am one of the sages of Mount Miyaboku. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. And I'm Shima. I'm glad I can finally put a face to a name." Nice to meet you too," said Naruto, as he looked at Jiraiya for explanation. "These are the two elder toad sages of Mount Miyaboku. They were sort of like my senseis when I was their age and helped me a lot." "I see," said Naruto. Well, he didn't really see, but he didn't decide to bother with it. "Where did Kakazu go?" "He escaped. I think he realized that I was coming. He left before my technique was complete. I'm sure he's long gone by now." As Naruto looked around, indeed, Kakazu had fled the battle. That was wasteful. After all the trouble that man had given him, he was looking for some payback. "Still, I'm impressed," Jiraiya said. As he dispelled the technique, the walls, floor, and ceiling went back to normal. "You managed to fight against two ex-rank criminals and survive long enough for me to arrive. That is no small feat." Thanks," said Naruto. There was more important things to be worried about than being embarrassed. "If you're here, does that mean you ran into Sandio and the others?" Naruto asked. "Sandio and the others?" Jiraiya said. By the way he phrased that, Naruto knew that he didn't run into them. This also meant that they didn't make it outside the castle, which in terms meant, "Damn it," Naruto said, as he rushed out of the hallway, ignoring Jiraiya's shouts, as he jumped up, bursting through the top floor. As Naruto scanned the area around him as he rushed forward, as he found them, Sandio. Some of his men were dead and some of them were unconscious. As he rushed over to Sandio, "Sandio, where's Koyoki?" he said. Sandio slowly opened his eyes before coughing up blood. He didn't seem to be in danger of dying anytime soon, but he was in a bad condition still. "Koyuki was taken. Dodo, he..." "Say no more," said Naruto. "Where did he take her?" "Rainbow Glacier." Naruto nodded. "Hang in there, Sandio. I'm going to rescue Koyoki and kick Dodo's ass." As Naruto channeled chakra into his legs and leapt off, as he made outside and started off from treetop to treetop. Naruto should have known that reaching Dodo wouldn't be that easy, as a spear of lightning came out, forcing him to jump off the trees. Snow sizzled as it was fried by the electricity as the ground shook. As Naruto launched a double winged fist towards the treetops where the spear had come from, as Kakazu burst out from the tree. He landed on the ground. "This is as far as you go, Kyuubi Jinchuriki," Kakazu said. "I may not be able to take you hard, but since you appear before me, I refuse to go back to the Akatsuki empty-handed." There were so many words Naruto could have said in that moment, but he wouldn't get to say any of them. Giant Rasengan! Like a meteor, Jiraiya fell from the sky. Kakazu had to jump away as Jiraiya hit the earth. A massive explosion of energy caused the ground to erupt as Jiraiya jumped back towards Naruto. "Sorry, but daily to take my apprentice will be a cold day in hell," Ero Sennin said Naruto. "Tuh, would it kill you to give me some respect?" "It might," Naruto said. Jiraiya sighed. "Fine, go on and rescue the princess. I'll deal with this guy." "Alright, thanks, Sensei." "Now you call me Sensei," Jiraiya said. "You're doing something useful," Naruto said, as he channeled chakra to his feet and leapt forward. Kakazu leaped up in the air, his body had a black color to it, as he had his jutsu activated to stop Naruto. But before he could touch Naruto, a fist smashed into his face with tremendous force as his body was sent spiraling as it hit the ground. A boom. Kakazu was surprised. In this form, he shouldn't be able to get hit like that and thrown back that violently. As he saw Jiraiya landed, Jiraiya's feet hit the ground, making a booming sound as he rushed forward and tried to stomp at Kakazu's head. Kakazu jumped back as Jiraiya didn't give him no chance. He rushed towards him as the both of them started to clash violently. Moments later, as Dodo heard something crash behind him. As he slowly turned, he was holding on to Koyoki with a kunai at her neck. As Naruto saw the look on her face, his face crunched up into pure anger. I knew it wouldn't take you long to find this place, boy. Do you know what this place is? Yeah, said Naruto. Your grave. Cute, said Dodo. This place where the secret treasure of the Kazahana family is buried. I have searched for ages and couldn't find it, but eventually, I came upon my brother's journal after rebuilding his kingdom, and I finally found out about this place. Everything that my brother had worked for, all the riches that he hid, all of them, they were right here. That is why I need the Hex Crystal, so hand it over if you please. If I give this to you, what guarantee that I have that you will let Koyuki go? On my honor as the king of this country. I'm sorry, Nerd said, cutting him off. But since you sent assassins after us, your honor doesn't really mean shit to me. Instead, here's what we'll do. Naruto created a clone as he gave the necklace to the clone. This clone will bring the necklace to you. At the same time, you let Koyuki go and have her walk towards me. And what guarantee that I have that you won't take Koyuki back with the necklace? Asked Dodo. No deal. Then how about this? Naruto tossed the necklace right into the center of the space between them. Let Koyuki go and grab it yourself. Be warned if you try to take her with you. All, get to that necklace first and you won't get the key. Dodo stood there for a few seconds. Fine. Have it your way, he said. As Dodo rushed towards the crystal, Naruto's sun shined right towards Koyuki. As he grabbed her hand and vanished back to where he was standing before, as Dodo was already walking back to the glacier. Are you okay, Koyuki? Naruto asked. Yes, she said. Why? Why did you give him the Hex Crystal? Because there is no way I'm gonna let him walk off with the treasure, said Naruto as he took in a deep breath and release. He knew that you're more worried as a hostage instead of a corpse. He set in the field for a battleground. As Naruto rolled his shoulder and cricked his neck, Dodo was going to force him to protect Koyuki, as it was harder to fight to protect someone when the other person was trying to kill the person. Can you beat him? Asked Koyuki. Naruto grinned. What are you saying? Of course I can, he said. I am the strongest shinobi in the entire world. There is no way some spoiled feudal lord can— Wait, is it just me, or has it gotten warmer? All of a sudden, said Naruto. Now that you mention it, it does feel a little warm, said Koyuki in surprise. As Naruto blinked when he saw all of the snow was melting. What is this? Said Dodo in rage as he looked around. This. As the man clenched his fist. It's a heat generator, said Koyuki, as she saw the water running off into a lake. I see, said Naruto. So this is the treasure of the Kazahana family. I guess it wasn't monies or riches. Your old man was trying to bring the heat generator to bring you spring instead of the winter. Koyuki didn't say anything as she gazed around at the snow that was melting away. Hey, Koyuki, Naruto said. Tell me I'm the best. What? Tell me I'm the best, Naruto said. I need you to tell me that I'm the best ninja you know. That I'm the strongest. If you tell me I'm the best, I'll be able to beat that douchey uncle of yours, no problem. Koyuki looked at him in surprise for several seconds, but then a smile came on her face. Naruto, you are, without a doubt, the greatest, most incrediblest ninja I have ever met. Well, with encouragement like that, there is no way to hell I can ever lose. As Naruto blasted off, launching himself towards Dodo, a Rasengan appeared in his right hand. It was because of the light. As the Rasengan started to change, it became multicolored like a rainbow. Is that rainbow chakra? Said Koyuki. Do you really think I'll let you come anywhere near me? Said Dodo, as he went through hand signs. Thrusting out his hand, two black dragons appear, going towards Naruto in an incredible pace. As they were launched at Naruto as they merged together and created a massive black storm that merged into a tornado, a giant one. Naruto pumped more and more chakra to his body, releasing his own transformation. His hair grew longer and became even more spiky. It also went from blonde to red. His eyes also became purple. Teeth became sharp fangs, nails became claws, and his whiskers turned thick and jagged like lightning bolts. Bright purple dragon burst on his body as Naruto slammed his free hand into the monster dragon technique. As the thing shattered like he was punching through glass with the force behind of Naruto punch. As Naruto's body blurred away, appearing right in front of Dodo. Dodo's eyes wide when he saw the boy looking up at him. Eat this, you son of a bitch, Naruto said. Rasengan as he smashed it right into Dodo's chest, right into the armor. The armor couldn't even keep up for a second as the attack overwhelmed it with sheer force. Dodo was sent sailing as he screamed, as he smashed over into a giant glacier. As Naruto stood there. Compared to my fight with Kakazo and Hidan, that was easy. Really easy, said Naruto. I think we should be glad it was easy. I'm not interested in fighting anymore. What are you talking about, said Naruto? You haven't even moved a muscle. Yeah, but watching you is like fighting as well. Whatever, said Naruto. as Naruto stretched his arms, as he then went back over to Koyuki. Well, how was that? Was I awesome? Koyuki looked up with a smile. You're amazing, she said. What did I tell you? Best ninja ever, Naruto said a grin. Believe in the future and spring will surely come, said a voice. As Koyuki turned to see a 3D projector, as it was her, when she was younger, and her father. What do you want to do when spring comes, Koyuki? He asked. I'm going to be a princess, she said. What kind of princess, he said. Let me see. One who is strong and fight for truth and justice. Tears gathered to Koyuki's eyes as her younger self spoke again. But there's something else I want to be too, she said. And what is that, her father said. I want to be an actress as well, she said, as she held up a small camera. Tears of joy started to fall from Koyuki's eyes, as she had a big smile on her face. Several dozen meters away, tell me you got that, director said. As the cameraman gave him a thumbs up, director jumped in happiness. Time skip, Koyuki. Her preparations for her becoming the daimyo had went underway. Kakatsu had managed to escape according to Jiraiya. The man had sacrificed 2 of his masks to flee the scene to try and slow down Jiraiya. But it would take him a long time to recover from the injuries that Jiraiya gave him. Naruto spent most of his time with Koyuki, who requested him to be her bodyguard whenever she went out. And standing there looking at her backside wasn't that bad. And every night they would get shit-faced drunk. Currently this night they were hitting the sake a little harder than usual. They already drank 2 large jugs and they were showing no signs of stopping. The seal that Naruto used to slow down his metabolism was well underway, and he was getting extremely drunk right now. He and Koyuki was sitting on a luxurious bed. As Koyuki was sitting cross-legged, she was wearing a pair of black shorts and a loose, sleeveless shirt, as Naruto was wearing his pants and a black shirt. Can you believe that jerk, said Koyuki, referring to the minister who she had met that day. The punk thought that he could. He thought that was easy. Did you see what he did? I saw, Naruto said, slurring his words. He tried to touch my butt, said Koyuki. Well, it is a very nice butt, said Naruto. Huh? You like my butt, she said. Yeah, said Naruto. Want to touch it, she asked. Can I, he said. Koyuki grinned as she turned on all fours, her backside facing Naruto. Go on. Naruto didn't even hesitate. It was firm yet squishy, like a marshmallow. Do you like it, she said. It's nice, he said, as he started to lean more into it, as Koyuki then started to release a rather soft moan. In his drunken haze, Naruto decided to move, but he ended up slipping as he fall. He fell in a rather, well, perverted position, with his face right between her legs. But her leg had hit the seal right off his forehead, as in a second, as his metabolism kicked in, he was able to sober up rather quickly. As he then jumped up, Koyuki was surprised when he just moved away so quickly. As she turned back around. What are you doing, Naruto, she said. Why did you stop? I'm sorry, we shouldn't do this, he said. Why not? You wouldn't understand, he said. Oh yeah? Try me, she said. There must have been some alcohol still running in his system. That is why he did what he did next. It's because I'm a monster. What? I said I'm a monster, I'm not human, he said. Judging from the look on her face, she did not understand. Naruto, I know you're a super, powerful, awesome ninja, but just because you're strong, that doesn't mean you're not human, she said. You don't get it, said Naruto, as he channeled wind chakra into his finger and sliced his forearm. As blood gushed out. What are you doing, Koyuki yelled. Just watch, he said. As she didn't watch long. Mere seconds later the wound closed, as Naruto wiped the blood off. Her eyes widened. What the? Do you see now, he said. I'm immortal, I can't age. I heal from any injuries I receive. What can I be if I'm not a monster? All of his life, people have been calling him a monster. He knew that the reason because of that was because the Kyuubi was still inside of him. But now, he thought that he could change your opinions. But after becoming half demon, everything that he said about him was true. He was a monster, he couldn't blame this on the Kyuubi. Koyuki climbed off the bed, as Naruto was so caught up in his own thoughts he didn't realize, until she hugged him. I don't know what make you think that make you a monster, but I can promise, you're the only one who think that way. No one else knows about this, Naruto said. If they did, they would all hate me. I don't hate you. You're drunk. I'm drunk enough to be honest. I don't hate you, I could never hate you. And if anyone else find out, if they care about you, they wouldn't hate you either. I can't let myself get too close to others. Why not, she said. Because I can't have a normal relationship. I'm immortal. I'm going to outlive everyone else. Even if I allow myself to fall in love, my relationship would never last. She'd eventually die one day, and I'll be alone again. As it hit Naruto in the last few months, now that he understood that he was immortal, most of his dreams would not come true. An immortal couldn't become Hokage, an immortal couldn't have a wife. An immortal couldn't have a family because he would just watch all of them die. Even if he tried, even if he succeeded, he would outlive everyone. That was not the kind of life that he wanted. But you don't want to be alone, right, said Koyuki. Of course I don't. No one wants to be alone for their entire life. Then why should you let yourself be alone, she asked. Because, she said, you don't want those people to eventually leave you. As Naruto remained silent, I understand how you're feeling. It's difficult to have people you love disappear from your life. But isn't it worse to have those people not in your life at all? As Naruto needed a moment to reply, I can't believe you're the one telling me this. I'm merely paraphrasing what I learned from you, said Koyuki. Aren't you the one that told me to not let go of my dreams? Because I was afraid of losing the one close to me. I do remember saying that. Yeah, you did, she said. I can't promise you a stable relationship. I didn't ask for one, she said. If you grant me this one night, that would be enough. And if you want to come back any other time, again and see me. After all I told you, you don't mind, he said. She still lifted up his face. Not at all, she said. As she kissed him right on the lips. Right there, his body lost all of his will to resist. As he leaned into the kiss and wrapped his arms around her, embracing the kiss even more deeper. Time skip. Itachi and Kisame were sitting on a campfire. Itachi, you thinking about your brother? Itachi said. Yeah, I wonder what happened to that brat. We know that the retrieval team did not successfully get him back. But we don't know anything else. Do you think Orochimaru take over his body? Said Itachi. Was that a twitch? Said Kisame. Kisame. Do not speak of things we have no information on. You really are worried. As Itachi said nothing, he just stared at the fire. Just then, the air around them exploded. They were not S-rank ninjas for nothing though, as he got out of the blast, reappearing at scorched ground. Whoa, said Kisame, that was a close one. The moment he said that, something smashed into him, something black and large, as two figures fly after him as well, leaving Itachi alone, their original attacker. Several snakes wrapped around him and bit down into him, but his body burst into crows, as Itachi appeared from around a tree, walking calmly into the clearing. I should have expected nothing less from you, Itachi-kun, said a familiar voice. Orochimaru. That is correct. A figure stepped into the clearing, but it did not look like Orochimaru. Not at all. Hello, Itachi-kun, Orochimaru said. But he was wearing the face of Sasuke Uchiha, with his 3-Tomo Sharingan activated. It's been a long time. Time skip. 2 weeks after Koyuki became the daimyo, it was no time for Naruto and Jiraiya to leave. As Naruto wondered what Jiraiya would think if he found out that Naruto was sleeping with a client. Most of the time was also spent training as well. Their battles were becoming closer and closer, but Jiraiya was still stronger than him, but he still had a lot of time to improve. And for some reason, the Kyuubi had stopped talking to him. Yes, he tried several times, but she just went quiet. He tried to enter the mindscape, but he couldn't. It was like his mindscape has become inaccessible somehow. He wondered about that, but he shrugged it off as a Kyuubi thing. On the last day, Naruto was standing on the dock, next to a group of people who had come to see them off. It was only Koyuki who had come to see them off, but others had joined for security purposes, or something. Looks like this is it, Koyuki-dano, said Jiraiya. Indeed, said Koyuki with a smile. I hope that you two have a safe journey. I'm sure we will, Jiraiya said, carrying a small sack over his shoulder, as he turned and walked up the ramp. Come on, brat, he said. As Naruto stood there looking at Koyuki, there were so many things he wanted to say to her. Thank you for accepting me, thanks for your words, but they were lodged in his throat. Instead, this is what he said. Well, I guess this is it. Yes, it is, she said. Please be careful on your journey back home. And also, remember what I said, you're welcome here anytime. Right, said Naruto. In the end, he couldn't say what he wanted to, as he walked up the boarding ramp. As he stood by the port side, watching as they grew smaller and smaller. I guess this was inevitable, Kyuubi, he said. But she did not respond. I'm surprised you didn't give your girlfriend a kiss, said Jiraiya, walking up to Naruto. She's not my girlfriend, Naruto said. Really? Could have fooled me. Haven't you been banging her since Dodo's defeat? As Naruto turned in surprise, I don't know what you're talking about, he said. As Jiraiya simply smirked. Then I must have been seeing things. I'm sure the blonde who has been screwing her brains out for the past 2 weeks must have been some other blonde. Sorry, my mistake. Wait, how did he know that? He was I'm gonna kill you, Naruto said. As Jiraiya jumped up on the dock and blew Naruto a kiss. I'm going to murder you, Naruto says. He leaped off after Jiraiya. As Jiraiya was never going to let him live this down, he just knew it. Time skip. Tenten sighed. She was in her father's store. The day has been slow. She hadn't had a single customer in 2 hours. Days like this was the worst. She was stuck behind a counter and also she couldn't go on a mission. Guy and Lee were probably training. Knowing Neji, he was probably training as well. Not her, she was stuck doing nothing all day, but working here. She then heard the bell on the door jingle as she looked up. Long blonde hair, with dark eyes and pale skin. She wore a dark shirt with purple body armor over it, as she had a rather large chest, as Tenten couldn't stop eyeing the girl's chest with envy. But she knew who it was. Yujito? She and Yujito had an odd friendship. Ever since Naruto went on his training trip, they had been spending more and more time together. Whenever they weren't on missions, they were spending time together with each other, bonding over the boy who was absent. It was actually Yujito who had been helping Tenten train most. As Yujito smiled, Tenten, you look bored. I'm extremely bored, said Tenten. Since Guy Sensei and the others decided not to go on a mission today, Dad thought it'd be fine if I watched the store for him. I can't even train. I guess that is father's for you. Are you going on a mission? Yes, it's an A-rank mission, so I'll take the usual. Got it, said Tenten. Yujito was a Jonin of Kumo, but she was living in Konoha as a neutral party between the two villages, as she often went out on missions that the right guy sent her by a carrier bird. Sometimes she would disappear for as long as a whole month. Tenten remembered one time that happened when Yujito returned. She was covered in blood. She supposed that's supposed to be the life of a Jonin. A lot of people ignore Yujito because of the bloody history between Kumo and Konoha. However, Tenten wasn't one of those people. It's finally time, isn't it? Yeah, said Tenten. I already knew what she was talking about. I wonder how strong he has gotten. Knowing Naruto, he's probably gotten a lot stronger. It's been over 2.5 years since Naruto left the village with Jiraiya of the Sannin. Tenten could only imagine how stronger he was now. The total is 600 Ryu. Here you go, said Yujito as she paid for the equipment as she took the scroll that everything was sealed into. As she slipped it in the pouch, strapped to her left thigh. Well, I'll see you when I return, she said, waving at Tenten. Yeah, see you. As Yujito reached at the door, Tenten called out, I won't lose to you. As Yujito turned, I won't lose to you when you come back, no matter what. Yujito smiled. I won't lose either, she said. As the door closed behind her, Tenten set her chin down. She was bored again. Meanwhile, a little distance away, as Naruto and Jiraiya were hopping from tree branch to tree branch before they landed, they started to walk. It's been a long time, Naruto said, with a smile on his face, as they haven't arrived yet, but their destination was Konoha. Yes, it has. You excited to see your lady friends? Asked Jiraiya. Definitely, said Naruto. I bet Tenten and Yujito has become really strong. And I remember the old man Raikage saying something about Yujito staying in Konoha. Yeah, she's a liaison between Kumo and Konoha. It's kind of surprised that Tsunade let someone like that into the village. But it just goes to show you that times are changing. Yeah, said Naruto. I'm guessing you can't wait to go back to screw the both of them. As Naruto glared at Jiraiya, you damn pervert, you know that's not my policy, unless they want to. As Jiraiya simply smirked. Huh, yeah, alright, I know your policy. I remember that time when you and Timar went on that mission and... Alright, that's enough, said Naruto. As a sea of trees parted to reveal large red gates. As him and Jiraiya stepped through, Naruto got his good look over the village. It hasn't changed that much, has it, said Jiraiya. No, it really hasn't, said Naruto. Wait, isn't that? As Naruto vanished and appeared on a lamppost, as he could see the village much better. And he also saw Bachan. Her face was in the stone wall. Bachan looks surprisingly good up there. Doesn't it, Akane? Said Naruto. But he received no answer. It had been a long time since Akayube, who had chosen the name Akane, many centuries ago when she first interacted with humans. As they had talked about it before the mission with Koyoki. And they have decided that it was better that if he called her that, because that suits her well, and also it was a name that she chose a long time ago. But she hasn't talked to him since that mission, where they saved Koyoki and defeated Dodo. He tried to go in the Mind Ski, but he was blasted out the moment he tried to enter. And ever since then, he couldn't enter no matter what. Naruto's the voice. Looking down, Naruto smiled as he jumped down, landing right in front of Sakura. It's been a while, hasn't it, Sakura? He said. You've grown a lot since I last saw you. Oh, you really think so? She said. Yeah, said Naruto. You've gotten a lot more womanly. As her pink hair was still cut short, but her clothing had changed a bit. Her sleeveless top was the same. She had on black gloves now, low heel, knee-high boots, and a short grey apron skirt. The cloth on her headband has also changed from blue to pink, as she was also wearing a medical pouch on her thigh. He then looked down to her chest. Still pretty flat though, he said. Sakura pulled back her fist as she swung it towards him, but Naruto grabbed it and directed it down to the ground. As he pulled her and looked right in her face. Relax, I didn't mean anything by it, he said. You still look cute. Sakura's face became incredibly red. It was interesting because the both of them didn't really get along that well, since he was always hitting on her and she always hit him. But he dropped his crush. And when they became teammates, well, it wasn't so good until the Chunin exams when he saved them, making her and Sasuke go ahead to face off against Orochimaru. And he hasn't seen her much after that since. He went out on other missions and also he went away with Jiraiya. He was also amused that he could make her blush. That wasn't something he was capable of doing before. Are you going to see Tsunade-sama? She asked, changing the subject as she looked away. Probably, Naruto said. We need to at least let her know that we're back. Knowing Hayama as I do, she's probably gonna have some plans for you to show off your skills, what you learned in our training, said Jiraiya. Oh, Jiraiya-sama. Hello, Sakura greeted. Hey there, Sakura. Looks like you've gotten a lot stronger. I can see that Tsunade's training has been doing wonders for you. It has, Sakura agreed. Hey, it's Naruto! As Naruto turned, as he saw three people rush over. Konohamaru, Mogi, Udon, he said. How are you guys doing? I see that you guys become ninjas since I left. Yeah, that's right, said Konohamaru. We've become really strong now. You look it, Naruto said. I can tell that you become much stronger by just looking at you. You'll be surprised by how strong we have become, said Mogi. Just look at our new jutsu, said Udon. As the three of them went through hand sign, a large poof of smoke, as Sakura coughed several times and waved her hand in front of her face, blowing away the smoke. Her eye then bulged out when she saw what happened. All three of them had transformed into busted, hot ladies. It's no good, Naruto said. What? All three of them said. Your appearance are fine, Naruto said, but only a pervert like this old Lek will fall for something like that. As he pointed at Jiraiya, who had eyes in his heart and was staring at them very intensely. It isn't about just transforming into a beautiful woman. It is placement of the smoke, to tease the people by placing the smoke around certain areas. Konohamaru, you're showing too much while Mogi and Udon aren't showing enough. Next up is your stances. They're very basic. Since there are three of you, it would have been better to get close together. It's more distracting when you three get bust to bust your opponents. Huh? You think so? Mogi said as the three of them dispelled their technique. I know so, said Naruto. One time I was infiltrating a slave trading ring, the girls that I came to rescue. Distracted the guards by posing together like that. It's a true method, said Naruto. I suppose this means we'll need to work on this some more, to Konohamaru. Absolutely not, you three should never perform that jutsu again. What kind of technique is that anyway? It's a legitimate technique, said Naruto. It's great for distracting enemies. Even non-perverted ninja can be surprised to use such a jutsu like that will caught them completely off guard. A second, distraction in battle could mean the difference between life and death. As Sakura faltered at his lecture, she couldn't really deny that his words meant true. Even she had to understand the effectiveness of a jutsu like this. I also have a reverse version of this that is effective against female ninjas, said Naruto. Well, Sakura says their cheeks turned pink as her hair. Maybe I should see how effective this jutsu is, so I don't get surprised by it. Maybe later, Naruto said. We have to see Bachan first, remember? After saying goodbye to the trio, they headed towards Hokage's office with Sakura. When Naruto got there, everything was the same as you remember. As Tsunade and Shizune wasn't there, and they hadn't really changed much. As the three of them walked in, Tsunade smirked as Naruto stepped forward. You look like you've grown a little stronger, and you haven't aged a day. Impressive for an old hag, said Naruto. Sakura's eyes went wide. Naruto, what are you saying? Apologize to Tsunade-sama immediately. But it was too late as Tsunade got up, as her eyes had a dangerous gleam in them. A old hag, am I? This old hag can still kick your ass. As Tsunade threw a punch towards him, but Naruto simply redirected the punch with his hand. Not bad, brat, said Tsunade, as she moved back to her seat. As Shizune was shocked. You used just a bit of wind chakra to push aside my attack. That sort of wind manipulation isn't something anyone can master. I should have expected you to figure out my trick works, said Naruto as he raised his hand behind his head and grinned. I guess that's Sakage for you. Indeed. As she looked at Jiraiya, how strong would you say he is? Without his hybrid mode, he can match Jonins, save for the ones like S-rank ninjas like Kakashi or Itachi, said Jiraiya rubbing his chin. And with the hybrid mode, she asked, he can easily match a S-rank ninja on his own. I say he's even stronger than Kisame. Is that so, said Tsunade. In that case, How would you like to take the Jonin exams, Naruto? As Sakura and Shizune gasped. Naruto knew of the Jonin exams, but he didn't know what they entail. They were one of the well-kept secrets of every hidden villages. The reason for this was due to how highly valued Jonins were. The Chunin exams was a huge event that brought all their ninjas together and advertised the ninjas to the world. But a Jonin knew one or more of their village more powerful jutsus. No village would showcase such secrets to the public, or they risk other villages or ninjas getting their hands on those secrets. Well, I certainly don't mind, Naruto said as he sensed someone squatting out the window. Excellent, said Tsunade. It will take at least a day to prepare the exams. I need to gather the proctors who would administer the tests. I'm guessing Kakashi is going to be one of them, said Naruto. Kakashi? Tsunade questioned. Why do you say that? She asked. Before Naruto could say that Kakashi was hanging outside, the door to the office opened up as two people walked in. It was Temari and Shikamaru. Temari, Shikamaru, said Sakura, looked at what the cat dragged in. As the both of them turned, Shikamaru had that lazy expression on his face. But Temari's cheeks blushed. Naruto, said Shikamaru as he blinked. Is that you? Who else would I be? Aruka sensei to ask. Oh, wow, said Shikamaru, as a smile came on his face. I can't believe you're finally back. You've gotten a lot bigger. You changed quite a bit. You as well, Naruto said. You don't seem as lazy as you used to be. Shikamaru sighed. I know. Ever since I became a Chunin, I've been swamped with work. It's so troublesome, he said. Naruto smiled before turning towards Temari. Temari, it's been a while. Almost a year, she said. The last time we saw each other was on that mission, the Land of Claws. That's right, Naruto said. You and I were both after that slave trading ring that was set up there. Neither of us knew that the other was on a mission, and we nearly got into a fight. We thought the other was hired by the slavers. That's right, she said, and after the mission, she didn't stop talking as she looked around, remembering that there were people in there with them. Anyway, it's good to see you again, Naruto. I'm curious to see how strong your win affinity has grown. I didn't get to see much of it during our last mission together. I'll be sure to make some time so we can compare notes, said Naruto with a wink. You two seem awfully close, said Sakura. Of course, Temari said. Naruto spent the first 6 months of his training in the stand learning how to use his wind chakra. I was the one who trained him, so we became pretty close. Tsunade raised her eyebrow and she looked at Jiraiya, who merely grinned at her and gave her a thumbs up. As Shizune giggled into her hand. Troublesome, said Shikamaru. Since you're in Konoha, I'm guessing you guys are here to deliver the report regarding the upcoming Chunin exams. Am I right? He said. That's right, said Shikamaru, as he handed Tsunade a folder. Here's a list of all the applicants from the other villages. While the list hasn't been finalized, there's unlikely to make any other changes, since most of these villages don't have any more Genin's work sent to the exam. Thank you, Shikamaru, said Tsunade as he received the folder. Well, I'll see you later, said Shikamaru as he waved at Naruto as he headed out the door. As Temari walked over to Naruto, I'll try to make some time for the both of us to hang out before I leave, okay? You can stop by my apartment if you want, Naruto suggested. I might do that. Anyway, catch you later. As Naruto then turned back around, realizing everyone was staring at him with different looks. As Jiraiya was giggling, Shizune was smiling, Tsunade had a raised eyebrow, and Sakura had the expression to say, what the hell did I just watch? The only one who couldn't see was Kakashi, who was still outside. I had no idea you and Temari were so close, said Tsunade as she looked at Jiraiya. Don't look at me, said. I had no charge of his training while he was in his stand. Whatever, said Tsunade. However, let me explain how the Jonin exam works before you go home to unpack. Sure thing, but maybe you should let Kakashi do the explaining, since he's been standing out there ever since this meeting started. Naruto, what are you talking about? Sakura said. The moment she said that, the window opened up as Kakashi jumped inside. Kakashi-sensei, Sakura said in surprise. Hello, Sakura, Naruto said Kakashi, giving the two of them an eye smile. As he looked at Naruto, I see your sensory abilities have become impressive. That's not the only thing you will find impressive, Naruto said. I guess you're going to be one of the proctors of the Jonin exams. That's right, said Kakashi. But guys, be in this episode right here. Before the next part, if you know what to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.